Hi everyone, I've got Luigi sleeping on my lap, so hopefully he'll sleep through this and oh, he's up. Spoke too soon. Okay, so the angels wanted me to talk about self-belief, believing in oneself no matter what. So as I mentioned in my previous videos, nothing is prepared or rehearsed or anything. The angels just tell me literally seconds before I press record what the topic is going to be about, and then it's about just listening to what comes through and what's being said. So they wanted me to talk about how we're all born just this perfect intact soul, lion-hearted, full of sparkle, full of ambition, full of life. We believe in ourselves, we know who we are, we're just a light into the world. And then what happens is, around us people have conditioning about themselves that was passed on by other people. They've lived enough life that they have made mistakes, they've had losses, and how successfully they came out of it or not would depend on how they treated you. And this has to do with parents and siblings, friends, teachers. Just looking at somebody, you can either look at them with the eyes of love and compassion, or you can look at them like they're vermin, or you can look with a heart full of hate, or you can look at them that like they'll never amount to anything, or get out of my sight, or I have no time for you, or you may just never look at them at all, and that's another message in itself. And the angels wanted me to speak about how we impact each other, how we treat each other really goes on to grow people. And we might know this in a conscious level or unconscious level, or we forget about it, we don't have time to think about these things. But we really are responsible for how we go out into the world and how we treat people. We have our public life and we have our private life, and they're not separate. If our days are spent in judgment of others or not being kind to others, when we're alone, we won't feel good inside. We won't have any peace. And the angels are telling me that the level of peace we experience inside is linked to how kind and generous and how good we are to others and how we're treating others. I mean, one could call it karma. Some people think of karma as in the next life, but you get some karma immediately and it's accumulated as well. Nowhere to run. And this is about how the angels are sad about how unnecessary all of us, so many of us, are suffering at the hands of others and parents and teachers and friends. And I want to share a little bit about my own experience when I went to school. I mean, I experienced so much pain at school, just rejection from teachers, a lot of bullying at school that took a long time to leave my body and to heal. And thank God for the help of the angels. And yes, of course, there is always one or two teachers that are a light and they stand out and they see the pain you're in and they help you. But my experience was there wasn't enough enlightened teachers at school, ones that could understand what you were going through if you were having a hard time, and ones that didn't take out their issues on you. And that also goes for awareness of bullying at school. Sometimes people say kids will be kids, they're just teenagers, but I mean, children can be so cruel to one another and cause untold damage and harm. And the angels want us to be able to be aware that if we're in the position to influence our kids or children in a positive way and create awareness of the suffering that we can do to others, it is so important. And so the angels wanted me to speak about that if you are one of these people that went through life and had an enormous amount of rejection, whether you received it from parents or whether your parents weren't around because they had to work, or whether teachers were very rejecting or peers were very rejecting, or all of them were, the angels know that you've probably not been able to know your true worth, how special you are, how loved you are, because we only know our value, our worth by the people in our environment reflecting it back to us. So if we get met with a lot of rejection and negativity, there's no way to remember who you are. It's so hard. So the angels come in and they want me to tell people that they need to remember that no matter how bad you were told you were, or how bad you interpreted you were by the lack of affirmation and validation and positivity around you, they want you to know that you are so beautiful, that God and the angels love you, that they've never left you, and not to judge your parents or siblings or teachers or friends that didn't give you the love that you needed, or harmed you, because they were just following a tape that was given to them. You can't do anything that you're not. So somebody did that to them. Somebody didn't reflect the worthiness in them. Somebody didn't show them how beautiful and special they were. So the angels want to come in and they want to break the cycle with you. They want you to know who you are, to know you're a child of God, and to go out into the world and believe in yourself, and to follow your sole purpose, to do good in the world, and to help your family, help the people that hurt you. It sounds like a crazy thing. Often in our society, never mind helping people, we want revenge. We want to get those people that did all of that to us back. But the angels have a different message. They want us to help as long as it's safe for you. I'm not talking about physical abuse and going into situations that you aren't strong enough to deal with. The angels say take time to build yourself up, to know who you are, to believe in yourself, and then that no one can take that away from you or knock you down again. But once you have that conviction and that self-belief, to go back into those environments and share that peace with others, share that love with others, and reflect back to them the goodness that they have inside, and try and help them.